What's good? What's really good, everybody? Ricky Montalvo back here again for week 17. Did you blink? Because the season just went by. Man, it has gone by quickly, and we are getting close to the end, my friends. So we've approached now week 17, and believe it or not, we'll be up here week 18 next week, which is honestly one of my favorite weekends to gamble. Lots of value to be had, and the difference here this week, there is none. I love gambling towards the end of the season. Come to think of it, I love gambling at the start of the season and the middle of the season, but I digress. We are coming off a W week. That's right. The positive regression continues. I said it might come. It did. Uh, Going 2-1 off of last week, exactly what we want to see each week. Positive ROI. Let's review what we did. We had the Steelers +2, a dominant win on Saturday, the outright, the Mason Rudolph bump, a Steelers team at home that had to have it. The Panthers +5. That's right, fading my own team, the Green Bay Packers. Only Joe Barry could give Bryce Young the best game of his entire fucking life. We'll see you out of Green Bay in the offseason, buddy. And then, of course, the Cardinals selling on the sweep. Unfortunately, some questionable play calling at the end of the game. They should have punted when they decided to go for it in their own territory. I digress. I really thought this was just going to be another letdown spot for the Bears, but they were able to cover a gaudy number of 4.5. So unfortunate. Um, Gave you the Titans +2.5 as an unofficial pick. I said I was on the 3. I said don't take the 2.5. I said you can take it if it gets to 3. It went all the way to 3.5. Again, this was unofficial, but I definitely teased it to you. So if you're able to get them at the 3 or 3.5, then you should be pretty happy. You either got a push or a win. For the contest, though, we are now 26-25, putting us at 51% roughly on the season. The 52.5%, it's right there, folks. We just got to get there for that positive ROI on the season, the key number. Now, my friends, this is being recorded late on a Wednesday. The holidays kind of impacting our boys on the pod. But Ricky's picks must persist, baby. We have to keep going here, keep getting the ledger on. I had some picks lined up yesterday, but there has been some changes in the market, a lot of news breaking today. We're going to touch on it, touch on some of these bets, but believe it or not, I've got a pretty loaded slate here for you today. I want to say bonus picks, but not really. We're just loading up. So as we kind of go through this, check the market with when you should get this. It'll be about Thursday. So check the market as we go along. If it's too much volume for you, which is completely okay, maybe just reduce your unit size and take the field. Or maybe I just need to do a better job of convincing you here today as we progress with the Ricky's picks. So buckle up, grab yourself a cup of coffee, and let's get after this slate on week 17. And our first pick here as we move to Saturday football. It's been so kind to us, I just can't quit it. We have the Lions traveling to the Cowboys. The line at 6. It is very much tucked in. Primetime 7:15. Pretty gaudy line here with 6. You're going to get Jared Goff indoors on the road. The Lions have officially clinched the NFC North. Congratulations to them. This was pretty par for the course. The start of the season, they were favored to win the division. And an emotional win as Jared Goff sheds a tear at the end of the game in the interviews. The Lions riding so high. And on the other side, the Cowboys, oof, dropping and fumbling. Tony Pollard is allergic to the end zone, apparently, as he was on the half-inch line, could not get an early touchdown. And they drop a game to the Miami Dolphins on the road. No Tyron Smith, banged up. Other offensive linemen, Zach Martin, excuse me. But the Cowboys on the back foot right now. The Lions riding high. You guys know where I'm going with this one. We have a Lions team in the division. Tough matchup for them on the road versus Nick Mullins and the Vikings. They were able to pull it out late in the game, and actually were able to cover their own number. Detroit, though, locking up the NFC North, like I mentioned, is now competing for seeding, while the public probably is a little bit mad at Dallas that they ruined their Christmas Eve. The Cowboys failing to cover, failing to win the game, being favorites on the road. This is a smash the Cowboys spot. We have a team that is just reeling right now. I told you guys weeks ago when they took on the Bills, this was going to be a murderer's row for them. They got blown out by the Bills. They lose a heartbreaker to the Dolphins. But now they get to go back home. This is where everything gets right. Dak and this team, they are really good when they are at home. It's where they want to be. They have to have this game. Not only do they have to have this game, but they need to make a statement that they're ready to start playing playoff football. They have a good opponent coming to them. A good opponent. Good offense, but a defense that is just way too suspect for me. This Cowboys team should be able to get going in full and in stride. I expect points early, often. It's a high total over-under in the 50s. But the Cowboys need to win this game and win it big. I don't know why this line is so bad. But I feel like the books are telling you what it is. That this is a smash spot for the Cowboys, and they're just trying to bump that number up in order to maybe balance the sheet. I make this a little bit greater than that. I like the Cowboys to win here by a couple touchdowns. I like them to smash the Lions. Jared Goff, when he's indoors, he is good. But I don't expect this pass rush to let up off of him. Montgomery's banged up. If they can't get that run game going and it's just the boys teeing off on the edges, Goff is not good. And I expect for him to buckle underneath blitzes. He does not do well there. Give me the Cowboys -6. I'm going to eat these points, giving you a favorite first pick of Ricky's picks here. Second pick, I had a different pick for you, but there's been some changes. We're just going to stick to what the board is giving us right now, though, obviously. I'm going to double back around here. But the second pick of Ricky's picks, we have the Raiders at the Colts noon on Sunday. This one at 3.5 tucked in right now. The Raiders need to start being regarded as one of the more elite defenses in the league underneath their new head coach. Their defense has just been playing lights out. The Raiders just shut down Patrick Mahomes. Some gaudy turnovers by the Chiefs. And Aiden O'Connell played like absolute dog shit in the second half of that game. I don't even think he completed a pass. On the other side, we have the Colts with Gardner Minshew, who in my mind have just been getting away with it routinely. I think they're frauds as fraud can be. I don't even think their record should be what they're at. They just got clapped by Atlanta. Usually you want to back the Colts at home here, but believe it or not, my attitude towards the Raiders has changed slightly, and it's because of this defense really buying into what the coach is doing. Um, the Colts defense on the other side is not a scary unit, and they can be beat on the outside and the perimeters. Aiden O'Connell, like I said, he's not good, but I think he's better than Minshew. I want the hook here. I want the points with Vegas, with the Raiders. It's just this is less about what happened last week with the bitterness of a division opponent, and more of me believing that the Colts are going to continue to regress here, and that Gardner Minshew will show his tendencies. And they've just gotten away with a lot of really big lucky breaks this year. Give me the Raiders plus 3.5 on the road. I know it seems like I'm potentially buying high here, but I don't think I am. I know a lot of variance and luck bounced the Raiders' way last week, but I don't care. I'm getting the hook here. I don't think the Colts should be 3.5 point favorites. Give me the Raiders. Give me this defense. I don't care who's running the ball, whether it's Jacobs or Zamir. They should do enough here to keep them at bay and get us the cover, win or lose. Second pick, Ricky's picks. And moving it on to the third pick here, we have the Steelers at the Seahawks at 3:05 on Sunday. Some afternoon action for you. News breaking. Excuse me. Different game. The Steelers here have put in Mason Rudolph. We backed the Steelers last week, and I'm just going to go back to the well here with the Steelers. Rudolph is an upgrade, and I know he just played the game of his life with George Pickens, but I don't think this is just a one-off game where they're just going to collapse now with the Seahawks. Seattle, something is not right with them. They got the win versus the Titans, but their offense is not humming right now. Gino's still maybe dealing with injuries, but they're just not right. This could be a letdown spot for either team, but I think this is more of a letdown spot for the Seattle Seahawks. I don't like Pete Carroll as a favorite here, especially at the 3.5. And I like Tomlin as the dog getting the hook. I feel like Seattle has really been trending down on the defensive side of the ball as well. They had that big move, that big win against the Eagles, but the metrics, I don't think that they're there for Seattle on that defensive side. While the Steelers' offensive side is actually better than perceived. Their stats are not as bad as what you guys are just thinking about. They can run the ball. Rudolph can attack the outside. I think that they can attack the middle here with some of the injuries to the safety and linebacker position of the Seattle Seahawks. 12th man, they're going to be up for this. They're going to get loud. But I think that Mason Rudolph is the right choice for this game. And for the Steelers, give me that hook here. Again, another game, win or lose for the Steelers. It's a live dog, but the hook, I'm getting it. I'm taking it. Give me the Steelers plus 3.5. I will buy again on them. I do not think this is the peak of the market. I don't think Seattle should be favored here by this large number. Steelers plus 3.5, the third pick of Ricky's picks. And we are definitely not done with the delay that's happened. I'm going to keep giving you guys some picks here. The slate, she's hot and heavy. I've had more time to assess the board, not being barred by a Tuesday lock. So here we go. Tuck in. We have the Chargers at the Broncos, 3:25 on Sunday. Here's our breaking news. Russell Wilson This line was at 5.5. It quickly dropped to 4.5 early today, and I knew something was up. I knew the wise guys knew something. And then news breaking that Russell Wilson is getting benched. For those that don't know the story, allegedly the Broncos had asked him to give up some of his injury guarantees, and he said, no, I'm not going to do that. As a result, they are benching him because they just cannot afford for him to get hurt. Because then hours later, they have announced that they're going to cut him in the offseason. Remarkable stuff here, but it has impacted the line and dropped it down. Now the Broncos are going to start Jarrett Stidham, who I do not think is a big downgrade for the Chargers, excuse me, for the Broncos. Um, the Broncos possibly going to be missing Courtland Sutton for this, but they have had real issues getting their running game going. We don't really know who leads. It's a three-headed committee. Javonte Williams shares in shambles in fantasy. And the defense, they are just so turnover dependent. I've been fading them. I faded them last week. I was on the Patriots. They when they don't get those turnovers, the defense does not hold up. It's not the defense that we're used to. And I think that Easton Stick and this Chargers team have the tools available with their running game to get going here. I think Easton Stick just needs to play his brand of football and what we saw versus the Bills. Taking the ball, running it when it's available, and we have another live dog getting the hook. I know this seems like a little bit 3.5, 3.5, 3.5 here, Ricky, but these are the right plays. I don't know if the Chargers get Keenan Allen back. He may have quit for the season with, Herbert getting hurt. I don't really care. Palmer is in protocol. But the Chargers, I don't think that they got their one bounce, right? So last week, they were 12-point dogs, and they almost won the game. So you think to yourself, okay, well, that was their peak of the market. I don't think it's that. I don't think that they're done yet. I think that Easton Stick can play well enough. The Broncos are absolutely terrible against the run. I think that Eckler can get going, that this running game can get going for the Chargers. And the Chargers they look excited to play football again. They know that their season's dead, but they don't care. They played with a lot of excitement. I think they're really happy that Staley's gone. I don't think they're ready to quit on this new head coach, interim, whatever. And the Broncos just lost their postseason to the Patriots, and they're a team. They should not really have a lot of excitement to get out there and get after it. I think if they do get excited, it might be based off the fact that Russ got benched. I don't know what his relationship is like with his teammates. And I think that's the only way this bet gets blown. Broncos should not be 3.5-point favorites at home. The number dropped. I got it at 3.5. I'm not getting any extra value, and I'm comfortable handing out here on Ricky's picks. Back the Chargers. They're not done yet. I do not feel that it's time to sell and buy on the Broncos. Give me the Chargers plus 3.5, traveling to the Broncos. Another dog for you for the fourth pick of Ricky's picks. And finally, we are doing something we have not done all season. We are giving you a fifth pick. Again, the time constraints, they work to your benefit. More time for me means more picks for you. We have Monday Night Football, the Green Bay Packers traveling to the Minnesota Vikings in prime time. The number bouncing around between 2 and 1.5. It's settled in at 2 now. Think professionals came in early on the Packers, and now it's gone back up. I do not like the Vikings being a short favorite here in this division. I have personally, for the past 3 weeks, have been fading my team. So before you guys think that this is a homer pick, big game, gotta have it. You're just getting excited for the game, Ricky. I've literally bet the Giants +6. I bet the Buccaneers +3.5. I literally handed out the Panthers last week at +5 versus the Packers. 3 straight fades to profit of on my team. And now it's time to buy on the Green Bay Packers. No TJ Hawkinson for the Minnesota Vikings. Nick Mullins. I think this is a shit the bed weekend for him. He's not the quarterback they need. I don't like him in this position on this big game. A gotta have it win moment for the Vikings. Jordan Love is going to take on a vastly improved, loud, raucous defense and arena. That being said, the Vikings have been blitzing at a historic rate. It's a maddening rate. But Jordan Love is good against the blitz. He actually identifies and plays against it very well. Green Bay's defense is dog shit, and it's a lot to do with Joe Barry, but they've been hearing it and hearing it and hearing it. And I think Joe Barry has been hearing it, and there has to be a come to Jesus moment. And I think it's in this game. We will see. The Vikings took a lot of defensive injuries in that last game versus the Lions. They're banged up, no Hawkinson, and news breaking today that Pro Bowl cornerback Jaire Alexander will be suspended by the Green Bay Packers for his actions in Carolina, where he went out for the coin toss, not being a captain. I imagine that there's also been some effort and some issues with him off the field. This is my suspicion, and that this is the front office saying, hey, we're not losing control of this team. You can't do shit like that. Jaire not being out there to cover Justin Jefferson is a problem. But I think that this defense is going to get up for this game. And I like having Aaron Jones back for the Packers because the offense runs through him. We're getting points. You're getting +2. Take the +2 with the Packers on the road in a gotta have it spot with their season on the line. The Vikings, I think this is where they trend down. Give me the Packers on the road. These two teams met earlier this year, and the Vikings were dominant. This is a much different quarterback and football club. Give me the Packers +2. My final pick and fifth pick for Ricky's picks on this loaded slate, recording on a Wednesday night. Now, friends, as a side note here, I was going to give out the Rams at the Giants, with the Giants at the +6, +6.5. News then broke. I was able to get it at 6 yesterday. And that was originally supposed to be a part of this slate. Then news breaking that Tyrod Taylor would actually get the start versus the Rams. Rams have just been riding high, covered in machines lately. This is just a good spot play because the Rams will be looking towards the 49ers next week. I'm not going to get into all the details, but if it does get to 6, you can take the Giants here at the +6. I just think they're going to be looking past them. I like the Giants at home here. So if you want to sprinkle that, hit that if it pops up. An unofficial pick for the contest sake here, as we already have 5 games, but we will step. That is something I just wanted to mention as we kind of slide on here to week 18. But A make or break week here for Ricky's picks with so much on the line. I just really couldn't narrow any of these down once I started digging more into them. And unfortunate that, we are recording later than what you guys typically get. Just so you can get your action on a Wednesday. You'll get this action in on a Thursday. But Ricky will not disappoint you. I wanted to load you up here. We got you loaded up. We're looking for the 3-2, the 4-1, to put us over the top, my friends. That was a lot. Me personally, I just came off another one of my most profitable weeks. So I'm feeling it. You guys should be feeling it. Ride with me here on this slate. Again, if it's too much action for you, reduce that unit size, lay the field, get comfy, enjoy your weekend. Hopefully you're in championship contention for your fantasy teams. But good luck to all of you. And I will absolutely be back here for the final week 18 of Ricky's picks. It's been a great season, and thank you guys so much for tailing me. Please, my friends, always remember to gamble responsibly. Stick to your unit size. Go down if you need to. Don't go up, though. And I will see all of you in the Saturday, in the Sunday, in the Monday trenches. This has been Ricky's Picks with Ricky Montalvo. We'll be seeing.